Hi everyone, Kieran Brown here, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about pretty much the one thing that finally got me consistent in the gym. So here's a short timeline of my gym journey. I first stepped into a gym age 15, into this one in the top right here. It was just the gym at school. It was a really small gym. As you can see, it was mostly cardio machines, and there was a few like weight machines like in the corner, but nothing too crazy. And then I got my first gym membership at 16, pretty much just because my friends were, and it was more of a social thing, to be honest. It wasn't something I would ever do on my own or like be interested in like pursuing like that. It was, just a social thing really. And that was in this gym on the bottom left. And I finally became consistent when I was 24 years old. So, what was it that finally put an end to 9 years of inconsistency? I'm sure a lot of people can relate to wanting to start in the gym, wanting to build some muscle, get in good shape, but just can't stay consistent. Um, and it just eventually becomes like too difficult. It's too much friction, and you just sort of like give up. But then, like a few months later, you might get back into it for a few weeks, and then there's just this constant yo-yoing, and nothing ever really sticks. So this was the thing that finally changed that for me, was buying a program with emphasis on the buy as well. I'll speak a bit about that later, and also show you like my own transformation once I actually bought a program and started to follow it. So this is the program that I bought. It was the Warrior Shredding program from Kinobody. In January 2023, I came back from backpacking around Asia, and for the first time ever, I was over 20% body fat, and I was pretty horrified. And thought to myself, right, there's something I'm missing here. And through doing some research on what to do, I basically came across the idea that before going on a bulk and trying to put on muscle, it's really important to get lean first. Because if you're already at 20% body fat and then you start going on a bulk, you're not going to look good. You'll be up over 25% body fat by the time you finish. Whereas it's much better to lean down first. And I also found out, through this program, that you can get stronger even though you're in a calorie deficit, losing fat, and that was a real eye opener for me. So that's what I decided to do, and I came across Kinobody on YouTube. I watched a lot of his videos. He's big on intermittent fasting, um, 3 days a week, like strength training, like short, intense sessions, and that sort of that seemed like doable. Like the 3 days a week, I'd known what I'd been trying previously was just like trying to eat a lot and trying to train like 5 or 6 times a week, and I'd be able to do it for like a few weeks, and then I'd just like give up, or just you know start to get bored of it, or it just became a bit too much. So yeah, when he was speaking about like his method, um, yeah, it kind of resonated with me, and I went and had bought this program. It was only like $100. And what's great about having a program like pre-made for you is it just takes all the guesswork out of it. I wasn't turning up to the gym and with no plan in my head, no idea what to do, what exercises, how many reps, how many sets. And that's such a big thing that prevents people from even starting in the gym, is they just don't know what to do. Um, and when I look back to the sessions I did, with mates when we first started training, yeah, it was comical really. We'd pretty much just do like chest and biceps like every session. We'd never do like shoulders or back or legs because they weren't fun to do. And so it was just like all over the place. We're never going to make any progress. Weren't like tracking any sets. Even like nutrition was just never tracking any of that kind of thing. And a program like this just it basically gives you an exact step-by-step plan to follow. And I think that's what really helped me, along with just the 3 days a week training. It was enough to see results. But it wasn't too much that it was overwhelming and took up a load of time. It's just training every other day, um, and giving you enough time to recover and that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, I'd highly recommend this particular program. I'm not even sure if he still sells it actually. But if not, he's got like a movie star body course, which is very similar. And I also ended up buying his Greek God program, which is what I'm doing right now. So you might be thinking, why not just get a free one? Why emphasis on buying a program? And it basically comes down to adherence. If you pay for something, you're far more likely to stick to it. There are thousands of free training programs everywhere, but you haven't used them, and I hadn't used any of them either. Like anyone can just Google a gym routine and just go and follow it, but we don't. There isn't that pain of I've invested in something now. I've actually paid for it. Now I need to do it. And even if there was a free program, you're less likely to use it. It'd be interesting to see an experiment where a group of people, 50 people, get given a free program, and 50 people get a paid program. It's the exact same, but I bet the adherence would be a lot more in the paid group. So yeah, once I invested that money, I was like, all right, got to do it now. Don't want to put that money to waste. And yeah, that really helps. So this is my transformation. Once I, realized this, that I needed to lean down first, and I bought the program, and it just had the step by step how to train, what exercises, how many reps, how many sets, a diet protocol that was easy enough to follow, what to track, just the whole lot was just all in one place. And on the left there, that was a picture from when I came back from backpacking. Um, I'd been gymming maybe like once or twice a week on average, but obviously not eating very well, drinking a lot, just not living a very healthy lifestyle, staying up late. So I came back and I was probably around 21, 22% body fat in that picture on the left. And after finding Kino Body and these principles, 10 weeks later, I dropped 18 pounds and 7% body fat. In that March picture, dropped down to around 13% body fat. Just looking a lot leaner, getting some muscle definition. And I was actually getting stronger in the gym as well, which sort of went against everything that I thought before. I thought that without bulking, you can't put on muscle and put on strength, but it just wasn't the case. And then, yeah, there's just a couple other progress pictures from later in the year, in October, and the picture on the right is how I finished the year in December, looking leaner and bigger than in the January photo. And there were like it was mostly I spent too much of the year cutting, to be honest. I could have bulked a bit more. But yeah, I was happy with the result in the end, and I think this is something which can easily be replicated. This year was by no means perfect. I could have definitely got better results, but it just shows, I think, with a bit of guidance and with a bit of knowledge that these kinds of changes can happen. So, in summary, if I could nail down my gym consistency down to one thing, it would be buying a gym program. Emphasis on buying, like I mentioned earlier, because of that pain point of paying for something, you're far more likely to adhere to it. It takes out the guesswork. It's made by someone who knows what they're talking about and looks the way that you want to look. And you can just switch off your brain, blindly follow instructions, and you'll make progress. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. That was the one thing. If you're struggling with gym consistency, then I highly recommend buying a training program. One of Kinobody's is great, or just anyone that you follow on YouTube and you sort of not agree, but you like their principles and the way that they do things. Another person might suggest 5 or 6 days a week, eating a lot, bulking first, putting on all the muscle and then cutting. There's so many different ways to achieve these kinds of transformations, and this is what I found work. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.